Well, here we go. We're ready to show some demos of kind of working behind the scenes with the tour software. Um, some preparatory things that need to be done to help you use the project with maps of your own. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my current project directory and kind of how to prep things a little bit. The first thing I want to do, of course, I want to make sure that I've launched the project, which I probably already did once. Yes, I did. And I just did it again. So that's not an ideal thing to do. You will get two versions. But this is where you would click it to get it. So let me just pause to stop that for a minute. And then we'll move on. And I will show you what to do within the project to create a zip archive or zip copy of the project. Because we'll want that to like start a session with a new map or a different map. All right, here we are. We are back in Unreal Engine 5.02. The project is open, and what we want to do is right now this is kind of my structure. If you, again, you could do this slightly different ways. I mean, that depends on how you want to do it. But you can see basically what happens is I build the project, I build new versions, I build the zip that's distributed to everybody. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a whole new directory here, just so you can kind of see the whole process of going from an archived zip version of the project all the way out to an executable, because this is important to know how to do. All right, so with that said, I will go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the functionality within Unreal Engine 5.02 to zip the project. This is important. This is where we're going to start. So I'm going to click on zip. And give it a few minutes to put up a window. Okay, I'm going to bring that over. I'm going to go to drive G. I'm going to call this, just for the sake of argument, final tour final. Alright, and it's in drive G. And this is where it's going to put the file. And you see now that it's in the process of zipping it up. Let me bring over the log so that you can see what it's doing. Essentially, it's getting rid of all the binaries, all the intermediate files. So the only thing that's going to get moved is like the raw project files in a very compressed form. Again, this is a great starting place for prepping a new version of the game, or maybe a new map or a new tour, something like that. But I want to show you how to build the full version with the huge, gigantic city map in the background, for prosperity purposes and knowing how to do it. So again, some of the steps, many of the steps I'm showing you will take some time, so we will have to pause the recording. And welcome back. As you can see, we have now, looking at the log, concluded with exit code equals a 0 success, which means we've created this. Let me go look to make sure that the file exists. Let me bring this over, and you can see that our zip file now exists on the G drive. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call it final tour final. I'm going to put the project in here, and I already did this once, so I'll say replace. What I want to do is I want to take this file, which I've got to find again. There it is. And we're going to unzip this into that folder. So, I got to click the right stuff here. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to extract this project. As you see, it's compressed form. Doesn't have any of the intermediate or binaries. Still pretty big because of the park, mostly. I'm going to do an extract all, and bring over the folder. And I'm going to say where I want it to go. I wanted to go into G:\Rhino tour file. So I'm going to say extract. And we'll let that do its thing. And again, about 10 gigabytes. Most Park is a big part of that. Um, Again, all of my work will be based on the Park. So any new additions will always include the Park because that's what we test against. This process allows you that I'm showing to recreate what I've done, to put things into your own maps, etc. But all of my testing needs to be done consistently against the big Park. Just because testing a feature against a very small map doesn't necessarily tell me if that map is performant. I'm going to let this finish, so you're now waiting for the zip to complete, and then we'll take it to the next step. And back. This is highlight where we're at. At this point, we are unzipping, extracting the files from the zip file that we made of the project. Again, this was a zip created by the Unreal Engine software, which basically strips out all the binaries, which means we're going to have to recompile and rebuild the project. But it's a compact format. Good way to store the project, good way to start with a fresh build. Because you are going to need to know how to build out new maps and do all that kind of thing. And you don't want to touch the original file system. You want to make sure you have that as a starting point in case you should accidentally change something you shouldn't, or you made a mess of it. You just want to start over. It's much easier to just start from this base project. And again, deliverables from me in the future for maintenance as well as for new features that may be ordered will, of course, be based on the city map, this city park, because that's what the system is tested against, to be as stressful and difficult as possible. So our copy is just about done, and we're going to take a look at the folder that we just filled with actual project files that came out of the zip file itself. Useful to know how to do this. Okay, so this is just the archive right there. So let me actually get to the folder. Go by name, easier. Where are you? There we are. Okay, so I'm in the folder itself. So now, keep in mind, this looks the same, but it's the unzipped version. Now at this point, none of the binaries are here. So how do we go ahead and get the project built? Again, this is going to be another place where I'm going to be pausing because I don't want you waiting for this to happen. I'm going to click on the Rhino Tour project, and it's going to give us a hint about saying, hey, I need to build this. So we'll give it just a second. It's starting to build something, taking a look at its config file, building some things in the background. And I want to show you another thing that's going to come up that you do need to say yes to. It's got to rebuild the city park code, the GTLF runtime, and the Ready Player Me. You will answer yes. And at this point, we are going to wait a few minutes to make sure this is done. And I am going to go ahead and close this project back here because that was the old one. It'll get a little slow if we've got two of them running in the background. So in the meantime, this project is building, and I will get back to you when that is all done. Alrighty. Okay, and we are back. We see the output log that was running in the background. I'm going to slide the project window over, and I'm going to close this. You now see the new project that we just unzipped and reloaded. Everything is here. all my content, all of my folders, etc., etc., etc. It should be executable. I'm just going to start it real quick just to make sure from here. Don't recommend doing it from the editor, especially when you're recording on the same machine. Um, but it should fire up, and you see my original menu. This is the menu you get when you first start if you've never run it from here before, which is to be expected. I'm just gonna do this. Again, I'm gonna run the whole app. This isn't the goal of the video. The goal of the video is to kind of show you how to manipulate the thing and make it work. I'm just gonna stop it. Okay, so I'm just, all we did was zip it, move it, unzip it. So as far as I'm concerned, it's ready to go. All right, how do we now? Okay, let me just reduce this. So here we are in a menu. This is our new, oh man, this thing's gonna run a little slow. I do apologize. As it is recording on the same machine. How do we go about compiling this thing and make it available? Now, most of the configuration's already done for you because you copied my project file. They're already set up here. So I'm going to go into the project file and to compile my executable. Now remember, not very productive to run it from the editor. You're definitely going to get a lot of crashes, but great for like a quick test, I guess. There is another way to run it from a command line. Again, you're running the editor at the same time you're running the app. Big application, if your computer can't handle it, it's gonna crash more often than it would under normal stress conditions. So here's how we compile the application to make it an executable, because we do not want to hand out our project files to other people. That's like handing out our source. That's like handing out all our code. That's like giving away all your secrets. You don't want to do that. You want to run. You just want them to be able to execute. So we're going to go into platform. And one of the things you got to make sure of is under supported platform. Let me just drag this menu over. That the only one we're supporting right now is Windows. Like that I'm sure of. So now I can go, I'm going to build an executable program. I'm going to go to Windows, Package Project, and I'm going to say I want the shipping version. It doesn't automatically set that down. You're going to have to say shipping version because otherwise it'll be big, full of debugging stuff. You don't want that. Yeah. So I just say shipping. I mean, it would have worked under the other because it was already preset to shipping, but I just like to explicitly set it. Now, we haven't cooked anything in here, so this is going to take a while. One of the things you would always do if you had your own maps in here is cook the content. If your content doesn't cook, in particular, your maps don't cook. Anything in your maps don't cook, this will fail. Obviously, I know that the park will cook. I know that the avatar system will cook, but I do not know if your map will cook. So you have to make sure. You may just do this cook step first because it takes a while to do all of this, and it would be helpful to know that it cooked. I'm just going to go ahead and say package project, and I'm going to get a menu. What I usually do, again, how you choose to do it could be different. I usually go ahead and create a new folder. I'm going to call it Rhino exe final. Just, again, whatever naming schemes you would like. And then I'm going to select that as a folder for where the executable is going to go. Don't get inside the rest of the project files. Not a good idea. Create a separate file in this folder or on a completely different drive. That's completely up to you. So I select the folder and the process begins. I'm going to say show output log. Now, this is going to take a while, especially considering that the park is not cooked yet and it's got to recook everything. So this will take a while. Yes, I'm again going to pause because we definitely don't want to sit here for 10, 15 minutes while it is doing all of this good stuff. Okay, so I will pause and we will see you on the other side of compiling and making our executable. All right, I'm going to do that again because I don't know if that got through. Again, we just unzipped it. We came back. Our project is here. I've created a folder called Rhino exe final. This is where I want it to go. And as I said before, just in case the recording didn't take, we want to make sure that we are in shipping. We want to make sure that we are only going to Windows. And I'm just going to fire this off again. Again, I was not sure if I was recording at the moment, and I want to make sure it's in there. So forgive me if you are seeing this twice. I do apologize. I'm going to start package project. I did want to, hold on a second. And I need to get back up here to my final folder, select it, and I'm going to show my output log. All right, now I'm going to pause it, now that I know I have recorded that, and that the rest of the video will be good. Again, if I haven't edited the original out, I do apologize. And we are back. As you can see, the log it says that we executed code 0, success. That means that we should have created our executable at this point. So at this point, we've shown how to zip up a project with Unreal. We've shown how to move that somewhere else, unzip it, rebuild the project, and we also showed how to take that project and turn it into an executable. So let's take a look at what we got. Let me bring this directory up. You see my directory file right here, Rhino exe final. We'll go in, see Windows, and we see the executable is there. What I'm going to do is just really quickly make sure that it looks like it worked. I can't do too much because I'm running OBS and I do have the project open in the background, and it might it might be a little stressful, but I want to at least show you how to get things going. I'm going to bring window over because it opened another window. I'll do my option. Good habit for people to get the idea of putting a name in, just so that in the chat they know who each other are. I'll just go with the default avatars right now. I'll join a tour. I guess I'll do our little rhino. Hopefully I'm not stressing things too hard. Here, being in OBS mode, recording to the same drive that all these files are on. So this could be a little stressful, but as you can see, we created the executable. We're not running the project files at all right now, and this is what you would distribute. So I'm just gonna pick one here. I think this is Dolly. We'll be Dolly. How about looking like Dolly for a while? There we are. I'm not gonna try any other features because they probably would be a bit slow and grokky at this point. But yeah, there you go. I don't know. I could test the chat. Hi. And as you can see, Ori, hi. There we are. We've now basically created an executable of our file um, from the project file, which is important to know because you will get all deliveries from me in the format of the Unreal Engine 5 zip file. Um, this shows you the project to rebuild the project and turn it into an executable. That's important to you because in the next videos, I'm going to show you how to put your own maps into the project, and you will need to know how to compile it. I will not be compiling your maps. You will. And again, I will deliver all code changes in this format, and you will put your own maps in, and probably for the sake of keeping project size down, delete the city park once you've mapped in your new park. But that's a subject for another video. I just wanted to get you around the idea of basically manipulating the project files as delivered and being able to produce executables to distribute by whatever means you wish. You could zip it up and throw it on a Google Drive. You could zip it up and throw it on a disk. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Bottom line is, what will you distribute? You will not distribute the project. You will distribute this folder right here. Whatever you put it in. Do not send them this stuff. Send them just the Rhino exe final or whatever you called it. And that is how you will take the avatar system, get it in a form for your clients or customers to use and distribute. And that's enough for this video. Okay, so hopefully I didn't mess it up and I don't have to record it again. But usually it takes a couple tries, so we'll see. All right.